forward. Inhale there, and on the exhale, drop your sit bones, lift your hip bones, uncurl your spine all the way up. Soften the knees and the ankles, bend at the elbows, arms go all the way up. Lift both heels, left hand goes up, left heel goes down, stretch the whole left side. You press the floor with your left heel, lift the ceiling, feel your whole left ribs, long waistline stretching, and the other side. Right heel down, right hand up. Breathe not only into the front of the chest, but all the way down lower back. And center, lower your shoulders, lower your heels, carve the arms back behind. Soften the ankles and the knees. You're gonna bring your hands up, lace your hands behind your skull. Have your thumbs down the sides of your neck. I don't usually have that in the Pilates alignment, but here I want you to have a sense of your head resting on the shelf of your index fingers. And lift your shoulders and pull them down. Soft ankles, soft knees, soft femurs. Lift your shoulders and down. Inhale, lift. And exhale, pull them down, and then just circle your left elbow and realize that that must be coming from under your shoulder blade. Head back, eyes forward, reverse the circle. Really begin to feel something happening not in your arm and the top of your shoulder, although it is, but something happening along your spine down mid-back. Hold that elbow still, other elbow circle. Be evenly weighted in your feet. Second toes are forward, center the heel back. Easy knees, soften the knees, reverse the circle. Breathe. And then both elbows moving at the same time, but not in the same symmetry of circles. It's very organic. For me, organic actually turns into another pattern, kind of a figure eight. And reverse whatever you have. Head back, head back. Literally push your head into your hands. Now, press your head back, even out your elbows, exhale, round over. That business we had at the beginning of sort of rounding out, reaching out over the picket fence. And then you release your arms down and let your hands land on your kneecaps. Bent legs. Inhale here. And on the exhale, roll up. Exhale, roll up, flat belly, scoop your belly, roll up. You have your hands tracking your legs, open the collarbone, chest, lift, and exhale, round over, hands to knees. Take your right arm up along your ear and bring it back down. And the other arm up along your ear and bring it down. Right arm along your ear, left hand stays on your leg and roll up. So your left arm, hand is kind of a guideline all the way up. Inhale here and exhale, use your belly, breathe out, spine goes back, head and arm in alignment, and then switch. Right arm down, left arm up. Shoulders are square. Then the inhale, come up, right hand tracking the leg, left arm along your ear, drop your shoulder, and exhale, pull your belly into round all the way over. One hand on each kneecap, breathe in. On the breath out, slide your hands all the way down to the floor. And the inhale, slide all the way back up. Take your feet wider than your hip bones. Feet and knees are turned out. Feet and knees turned out, and just rock the pelvis side to side. You're not trying to bend the knees and nothing sort of swaying, wiggling. It's just the thigh bones moving in the socket. And the head up, ears up, shoulders back, rock, 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 and then circle. Pelvis circling. Try not to counteract it with your upper body, like your head and torso stay still, and reverse. And be still, toes are still turned out. When you bend your knees, kneecaps over your second toe. So if you look down, you should not see your whole foot on the outside of your leg. Maybe your big toe knuckle, big toe itself, and then head up and back, chest up, way lifted, lift, lift, yes. Shoulders hanging down. Pull the floor together to pull the legs straight. Pull the floor together to fold at the knees, the ankles, the tops of your femurs. Pull the floor together to come up. Pull together to come down. Stay here, and then do that swinging hips is different only because the knees stay bent. Swing, swing, swing. There's a sense of the hip going up the side, up the side, up the side. Nice. 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. Find center, pull the floor together. Come back to parallel feet, second toe, center of the heel, same alignment. So bend at your elbows again, palms are up. Pin your elbows like they're able to pin into your hip bone. Even if you can't touch your hip bone, like you're near there, and then open to the side. For some reason, I think of this like opening a cupboard door and close and open. When you open, you are externally rotating. You're working the back of your shoulders and arms and in. And press open, palms up, thumbs back, and center, okay? And press back, lift the chest, and center now. When you press open, imagine that somebody's pulling your wrist away from your spine, and then you pull the elbows back into your body, intentionally pulling as if whatever has you gently by the wrist, you are retracting back in. And being pulled out, and exhale, pull in, chest up, ears back, and be pulled away. And pulling in. And again, be pulled out long. And then you pivot your palms away from you. Heels of the hands away, fingertips are up, fingers are wide, soft ankles, knees, and femurs, crown up, ears up, wide fingers. And then flip over the left foot so the top of the foot is stretching into something. And don't let the heel or the ankle run out. Stays in, pelvis stays level. And push the room walls apart. Make it longer, make your cathedral church ceiling higher, and press your standing heel into the floor. You're going to keep your hands out there and drag your foot forward a little bit and back. It's not a hard drag, it's like brushing. It's like you are paint brushing the floor. Some balance to work on here. And this is a fascia exercise, not a, oh, I have to stretch all the muscles in my foot and all the ligaments and all the tendons. Brush, brush. And the other piece of this is literally the brushing piece is telling the muscles and the tendons to lengthen. It's that feeling sensation, the proprioceptive sensation. Bring that foot, set it down, turn the fingernails to the wall behind you. Fingers are wide, push the heels of the hands past your fingers and the other foot. Ankle in, stretching the top of the foot, crown up. Pelvis is neutral. Pull your lower ribs back, pull your sternum up, pull your ears up. This is an effort, I know, and breathe in. And breathe out. And the inhale. And exhale. To turn your fingernails down as you paintbrush that fascia stretching. Brush, brush, draw it, draw it. It's not a hard brush. It's really lightly skimming. Bring that foot back in place, lower the arms so you're reaching through the heels of the hands. Fingers are wide. Parallel feet. Pull your heels together without actually moving them or touching them. And then lace your hands in front of you, little figure eight through your wrists. And reverse. Stop and lace your fingers the other way, and 8. Just this infinity sign, feel the tendons, ligaments, muscles, and the wrist changing, and reverse. So let your arms all the way down. Thumbs against the side of your thigh bones, fingers are wide. Open the collarbone, lift your ears, and press the arms straight back. And bring them in. When you press the arms back, don't lean back and don't sink down, but pull your lower back ribs back also. And in. And press back, lift the collarbones, lift your pelvic floor, lift your belly. And down. So you feel stretch in the front of the arm and shoulder. Inhale, stretch back. Wide fingers, stay here. And lengthen the arms, lengthen. It looks like they're going up and down, and of course they are. But you think reach farther back, reach farther back. Lift, lift, lift your sternum, lift your chest, lift your lower back ribs, lift your ears. Press the feet into the floor, breathe into your lower back. Bring the arms all the way down to your sides. You can flip them around, palms forward, and just do mitten hands. So fingers are together, but thumbs are still wide. Stretch back. And that same idea of trying to put your fingernails on the wall behind you. Press back, press back, press back. Chest up, shoulders down, ears up, pelvic floor up. It's all up. Press, 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 press. A little bit faster, closer together. And then baby fingers in. Pull, squeeze the space behind your body. 3, 2, 1. And lace your hands together behind you. Take your arms straight back. So they're back behind you, but you're not rounding forward. And try to pull your hands apart without letting go. So you translate the traction, the tension to the front of your arms and shoulders. And then think about where your fingers are right now and your thumbs. Bring your arms down, take the tension off, and relace them the other way. So the other thumb and fingers are in front, feels weird. And stretch back. Try to pull your hands apart. Don't let go. You feel stretch in the front of your arms, shoulders, and chest. Soft ankles, soft knees. Pull the floor together with your powerhouse. Lower belly, inner thigh, butt. And then quit pulling apart and squeeze together. Unlace your fingers. Press your arms together. Breathe. And release your arms. Let them swing, swing, swing. And then parallel feet, parallel legs. Put your one hand per leg, slide down to your kneecap. Put your left hand on your right hand. Turn your chest to your hands. Stretch your left back. And reach your left arm up along your ear. Pull your ribs back. Lift your pelvic floor and your lower belly. So the dominant stretch, I'd like you to look for the stretch between your ribs and your hip bone, your pelvis. You can hang on to that left wrist with your right hand, either get a hold of the wrist with your hand or lap your left hand over your right. Pull in your belly. And imagine holding on to a doorknob. And if you're holding onto the doorknob, you'd be able to pull back. So there's an opposition. There's an opposing dynamic. Collarbones forward, belly back. Bring your arms down to your right knee. One hand per knee. Inhale to come up. And exhale, round over. Right hand over left. Chest over both hands. Bring your right arm up along your ear. You're pulling your right ribs and the space between your ribs and your pelvis back and up. Heavy in the heels and the ball of the feet. Still thinking of pulling the floor together with your heels. So bend the knees more. Get low. And breathe in. And breathe out. You may hold the wrist with the other hand or lap the right hand over the left. The dynamic is opposition. It's an interesting thought about opposition. So much in the last, certainly last year, has emphasized opposition as opposing and pulling apart. But just really the sense of one end of the spectrum and the other, creating some length, some flexibility, a spectrum, a uniform usage when we're talking the human biology. Breathe. And then bring both hands down to your left knee, one hand per knee. Inhale to roll up. And just stand a moment. Let your shoulders hang, ears up. Close your eyes and breathe in. And breathe out. And then you're going to put your hands on your back with the heel of your hand at your lower ribs. Fingers are hanging down. So your hands are pretty much on the soft tissue of the body between the hard tissue of bones of ribs and pelvis. And then collarbone up, shoulders are down, ears are up. Close your eyes for a moment and inhale into your hands. Expand the bones, pull the bones away from the pelvis on the in-breath. And on the exhale, just let the body go where it will go. And do that again. Breathe in. You expand the back into your hands. And on the breath out, just letting go. And then something different on the next exhale. Inhale into your hands. Stretch your back. Keep stretching your back. And on the exhale, keep that expansion in your hands. So your belly has to come in to your hands also, right? So feel a little more length, another 1/4 inch of length in your back. Breathing in, breathe into your hands, and then stay expanded in your hands as you breathe out. Release your arms all the way down. Soften the knees. Hands are, actually have your hands up on your ribs. I'm going to move only your rib cage. Go side, center, side, center. We're on the ribs for a moment. You really feel that you are moving your hands, not with your hands or your arms or your shoulders, but with your ribs, because your spine is side bending. And it's really curving as some kind of shearing translocation. Now let your hands down on the hips and hold the hips still, and the ribs are sliding center, side, center, side, and side. The breath, inhale, center, exhale, center. In breath and out. Breathing in, breathe out. From the center, I'm going to inhale the other way. So inhale left, center, exhale right. Center, inhale left, center, exhale right. Center and breathe. And reach. Think of getting taller. Every time you move side to side. The last one. From center, chest forward, center, chest back, center. Inhale, chest, center, exhale, back. Center, breathe forward, center, breathe back. Center, ears up, Heels down, connect the dots. Front, side, back, side and chest, side and back, side and chest, side and back, side and chest, and back from the front, reverse. Front, side, back, side. Inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale. In, breathe out, and inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale, and rest. Take your feet way out wide, feet turned out, knees turned out. We were here once before. Only this time you're going to let your knees bend again, and you're going to go over your toes. You're going to stay low to feel level across your head, your collarbones, your hip bones. Stick out your sit bones. They're trying to be on the wall behind you, and pull the floor together to unbend, and pull the floor together to lower the body and bend, and pull together to come long and extended, and pull together to flex. The breath on this. Exhale, pull together and up. Inhale to bend. So ribs open, body lifting, and exhale, power from the pelvic floor up the front of your spine. And inhale, fold, stay here, lift one heel and down, and heel, and down, and heel, and down, ankle forward, other foot, and heel, and down, and heel, and down, ankle forward, and down, forward, and both, and heels, and down, and lift, ears up, belly in, knees back, ankles forward, and breathe. 3, and 2, and 1, and done. Pull all the way up. You only bend the left leg until you can get your arm on your thigh. If you want to have more space between your feet to make that more accessible, you can, but really rely on your arm for a minute. And if that's too far down, put your hand on your thigh bone. The reason I'm having you rely on that a minute is that you're not using your quadricep to hold you up. And don't lean forward. Be upright. You're only going to the side. So let's have everyone put your hand on your thigh bone. And here's the thing. I was working yesterday or a while ago, and I had shorts on, and I watched somebody's eyes just keep flickering down. Like, you know, they're looking at something else than what we're talking about. And I had shorts on, and I realized that my skin is sagging down over my knees. And yesterday I was working at the farm, and Tilly, who's 2.5, came up to me, and she was playing with my elbow. She said, "I like your elbow." Like, she likes all the extra skin on the elbow. Long way of saying, don't push your skin to your knee. Like, I'm hanging out here and I'm shoving all that tissue down to the knee. Don't do that. Pull toward your own body. It's work. Under the back of your arm, or don't pull toward your own body, but make sure that if you're supporting with your hand on your leg, you're pressing straight down into the floor. Am I making sense? Like, you're not pulling your own muscle tissue, because you don't need to stretch your skin or your muscle anymore. Not that way. And then if you feel like you could get farther over and do that with your arm bones supporting you, but folks, don't lean forward to do that. Lift your chest, lift your eyes, lift your ears. That's it. Lovely. Anyone feel left butt working? Yeah. So this is a stretch and strength class. It's really agility for humans. And we're working left butt, lots of left inner thigh. And then can you reach your right arm, add some length and weight to it. You bend both legs, bring that arm down in front, and come up center. Ears up, collarbones up, shoulder blades down, fold the right leg. You can be here on your hand on your thigh bone, as long as you're not stretching your skin out over your knee. Or you can come down to the upper arm. You're holding yourself up truly, it's with your right leg. Now also be careful that your left leg isn't pushing away. You are not inflicting the floor or your mat. In fact, try to pull your mat together. Chest up, collarbone up, and your right gluteals and rotators, butt muscles, are holding you stable. Breathe. And then add the weight of that left arm. Long line. Left ear through the armpit, through the hip bone, through the ankle bone, just in front of the heel. Bend both legs, that arm comes down. Pull, extended both legs. Turn on your right heel, so your right foot turns in and your pelvis turns toward the direction of both feet. If both feet were on parallel lines, which they are, one leg is ahead of the other. And then I need to shorten this up a little bit because this, for me, just too much relying on my joints to hold me. And then press forward with your right butt. You feel stretch in your right quad, right hip flexor. Try not to fold over, but lift, soften the back knee. And then bend the front knee again, not too far. You feel stretch in the front of the leg that's back. Yeah. And breathe in. And breathe out. Inhale across your lower back. And breathe out from your lower belly. And breathe again. And breathe out. And you're going to pull yourself forward, take a walk. Back to your own real estate. You find that turned out toes and knees. And then you pivot on your left heel. So really both feet, if you're on a really wide railroad track, second toes would be on the rails. You press your left hip bone forward, parallel to the line of your right second toe. And then squeeze your left butt, pressing the entire pelvis forward. Try not to tuck under. I know you might feel more stretch with that, but it will pull everything else out of it into a different kind of alignment that isn't actually useful out in the world. So soften the back knee, feel like your whole pelvic structure is engaging from the back. And then you can soften the front knee. Your body is really upright. Pelvis feels like it's being pressed forward through the front of your hip bones. So your sacrum, your GPS, your center of mass and volume is that, and the engine. You feel stretch in the front of the leg that's back. And breathe in. And breathe out. And breathe again. And breathe out. The inhale, get tall. And on the breath out, pull yourself forward, out, take a walk. And the walk is very specific: heel ball, heel ball, heel ball. Roll through the range of your feet. Breathe. Try walking backwards for a moment, ball, heel, to feel the nervous system. And then walking heel ball back to your mat, to your real estate. You're going to stand on one end of the mat, parallel feet, parallel legs, and wrap your left arm behind your knees, right hand on the floor, and lift both sit bones, and then let your knees fold. And again, lift both sit bones, and exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower, switch arms. Inhale, lift, let your head hang. And exhale, everything folds. You inhale, press your heels away from your sit bones and fold. And then hands on the floor, and you walk your hands forward and lift your sit bones, heels down. And just lift your left heel. So the knee has to come forward. Stretch your toes and bring it down. And the other heel, stretch your toes and down. Pull the mat apart with your hands. Lift your belly, lift your heel as high and forward. Stretch your toes and down. And the other heel, lift it up and stretch your toes and lower, and then both heels and down. Both heels way high, high heel shoe and down. And knees straight and lift your heels. Lower your heels, come all the way down to the mat. Knees are wide, sit back on your heels. Arms are all the way out. So let your leg bones move side to side. And that moves your pelvis and that moves your spine. And if your hands are still, it creates an end point of your hand through the pelvis, stretching the arm, the shoulder. Find the center, walk your hands, both hands to the left, and pull back on your right butt, right hip. Breathe in your right lung and breathe in. And breathe out. And the inhale. And exhale. Bring your hands to center. And the on and out breath, walk both hands to the right. And pull your left pelvis back. To breathe into your left back. And to breathe in. And to breathe out. And again. And out. Walk your hands back to center. Keep your arms way out. And inhale, reach your left arm so far away from you it leaves the floor. And down. And the other arm. Keep that arm up. Lift the other arm also. And down. And come up on your hands and your knees, flat back. And let your spine swing like the jump rope. Up, side, down, side, up. When you exhale, your spine goes up. When you inhale, the spine arches down. And reverse. Then you're going to sit on your mat with your pelvis at the back edge of your mat. Start with the bottom of your feet at the front edge of your mat. And immediately we're going to flip your right leg over. So your right knee goes on the floor, your right foot against your right sit bone. And you can adjust yourself so you get your elbows or your arms on the mat. Put your right knee in the arch of your left foot. The sole of the left foot to start with. And you can adjust if you prefer something more extreme. And then lean back away from the right knee. The dominant stretch here Lynn, I would have your foot a little bit wider and take your right knee toward the sanctuary, toward the, yes. Yep, now lean back. You feel more stretch? Yeah. So your eye view, if you look at your right knee, I want your right knee right of your right hip bone. When you see your right knee to the outside of the pelvis. And that might even be gotten by leaning your torso to the right. Open the hip bones, both hip bones. You're attempting to have them face up to the ceiling. Dominant stretch, right quad. To feel that thigh bone turning inward. If you have pain in that knee, you're turning your thigh bone inward and down. Inward meaning the top of the quad in toward the other leg and the floor. And your shin, because your knee is bent, you're turning the shin down to the floor. So the thigh bone from the front is turning in and down to the floor, and the shin is turning in and down to the floor. And breathe in and breathe out. Inhale and exhale. And take your free arm and the forward over the other knee. So your right hand is reaching to your left knee, and then pull your body away from your hand and your knee. So see if you get something more going on in your hip joint. So you're looking for a psoas stretch. Keep pulling your back, and then continue that arm forward, up, along over your ears, spiral, spine, and exhale to bring it all around again to the other side. Non-negotiable, left knee is on the floor, your mat on the floor. You start with the bottom of your right foot at the knee, your left foot close to your pelvis. Open the hip bones. Sharon, can you bring your foot closer to your body? Yeah. Your knee okay with that? Okay, that's less torque on the knee, actually. So hip bones are open, your left thigh bone rolling inward, your left shin rolling down to the floor, and open the chest and breathe in and breathe out. Yep, as you look down the length of your left leg, so we're stretching the left leg. If you look down the length of it, I want your knee to be outside of your left leg, right? Because we're looking for not only not flexing at the front of your thigh joint, ideally we're at least getting to extension to flat, but you're even trying to reverse that, pull the thigh bone behind the pelvis. And in this position, I mean, I don't want the knee to travel out to the side, right? It's just not in here because that means there's flexion. So these tricks are not the truth in and of themselves. It is to get flat from your hip bone to your thigh bone. And you have the length of the stretch from your ASIS, your hip bone, to your knee, and the belly of the muscle, somewhere in the middle. And if you feel it in the hip joint, that's fine too. But this one's really the chewy, medium rare muscle. Yeah? And then you bring your left hand toward your right knee. Don't circle out of it yet. But this forward reach with your arm is really opposition. We said that earlier, right? Pull your belly button away from your left knee, not the stretching one, but away from the one that you're aiming for, and see if you get even more something going on in the left hip, the psoas stretch. It's kind of zingy, way deep in the joint. And then continue, arms up, over spiral, inhale, and exhale, pull your belly in and come around and come all the way up. Now you can put the bottom of your feet together. We started here for sort of position arrangement. And start with the feet way at the front edge of your mat, pelvis way at the back edge. You may hang onto your ankles, don't hang onto your toes, lift your chest. If you need to be up on a pedestal, please put yourself there. You deserve to be up. Get your pelvis higher so that when you lean forward, you are on the front of your bones you sit on, your ischial tuberosity. So you're not back here rounded, but sacrum moving forward. So think of having a flat back and predominant stretch external rotators, right? Out here where the leg comes into the pelvis along your underwear line, for example, along the outside of your swimsuit line. It is permissible to lift on the ankle and press down on the knees. If you can get there, you can do that from here if you'd like, but I think it helps a lot to not push down, but to push out. So if you push your knees apart with your hands, and the reason I like that better than down is it feels like you have to curve your body over to get enough weight on that, out. And then you're active in the back of your arm and your shoulders, chest is lifted. And then tall and bring your feet closer to your body. It will translate the stretch to inner thigh if it was not already dramatically there. Inner thigh. And then can you get your hands on the floor like your left hand between your right foot and knee on the floor? And nope, don't lift your butt. And then right hand on the floor, kind of parallel the left hand. So the hands are like you just turned your body and they're on the floor, and pull the floor with your hand. It's this friction. Yeah, and if you get fingertips on the floor, whatever you can get a hold of, you see where my hands are moving. I am pulling the mat, the floor in the direction of the body, which pulls the chest forward. Does anyone get more stretch in your left butt? And cramp in your left rib? Yeah, because you can feel how the obliques are working to rotate your torso. And breathe in. And breathe out. And release that. Find center a moment and you inhale. And as you exhale, turn and grab the floor from the other side. You're pulling the floor toward where your body is on the mat. Collarbones lifted, chest lifted. Torso is in rotation. Try to keep your right pelvis down. And breathe in. And breathe out. And then coming up now, get your feet somewhere, not all the way forward and not all the way in. And put your body weight forward. Push your right foot with your left foot. So I'm going to show you, you're not doing this, but I'm doing this. I'm trying to push my right foot with my left foot. Can't go anywhere because the right foot's stopping it. But when you push your left into your right, does anyone get more stretch in your right butt? So let it turn push your left foot into your right foot and let it turn your body toward your left ankle. Relative motion. Don't turn your body, push with your foot. Janet, you feeling that? Yep. Lynn? Put yourself up on a block. Sharon, have your feet a little further forward and see if that works. You are, okay. And then center, breathe, push your right foot into your left foot. Let your torso turn and lean forward like over your right ankle. And push your left foot with your right. Judy, are you getting more stretch? Are you up on something? You have a block? Get higher up. So part of this is a lesson of stretch strength, right? This push-pull opposition, to use your own body for that dynamic. And then come back to center. Now we need to stretch out the hip flexors, right? Because it's a lot of activity on that. Sorry, Judy. You're gonna roll over to your left side. Your left leg is bent in, your right leg is stretching back straight. If it is really challenging to get where you can have your pelvis and your thigh on the floor, you can put a block underneath your left hip. But the idea is that you're on the front, the front of your right leg, and stretching. But if you're not, yeah, good. Now, put your hands into the floor and push the floor away from your body. Not to try to get higher or more compressed in your back, but does anyone get more stretch in the joint in the right hip? If you're pressing your mat forward away from you or your floor, does anyone get more stretch, more torque in the right hip joint? What? No? That's okay too. And breathe in. And breathe out. And breathe again. And on the breath out, let your body sink down into the floor. And now the dominant stretch probably is the external rotators, the muscles that are rotating your left leg, your left front leg. To think of deepening that rotation. So your left thigh bone is rolling to the left and toward the floor. Drop your left sit bone. Drop your right hip bone in the front. Lengthen the right knee back and breathe in. And breathe out. And breathe again. And exhale. Breathe through your nose. And breathe out through your nose. And breathe again. And as you breathe out, bring your body up to the other side. We're trying to be on the top of the front of the leg that's back. So the left leg is back. I'm going to stay upright a minute and feel like you're pushing the floor away from your body. And it gives you a little torque, a little more dynamic in the left hip joint. So where before we were paying attention to the belly of the muscle between the knee and the hip joint, now we're focusing on the joint between the thigh bone and the pelvic bone. Lift your collarbone and breathe in. And breathe out. And breathe again. And breathe out. And then allow your body to come down sinking into the floor. You think of your front leg, that right leg in rotation, dropping the sit bone. On the breath out, feeling a sense of settling down into your body, into gravity. And when you breathe in, send the in-breath to the place in your body that feels the most stretch and length. And when you breathe out, to feel your body and your breath settle and sink and feel heavy. The in-breath through your nose and the bones of your face, and the out-breath through your nose, the bones of your face, and that settling or sinking or being connected with the gravity beneath the floor. And breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe again. And breathe out. Bring that back leg around and just lie down flat on your back for a moment. Legs are not touching. Letting your shoulders settle back. Sit bones settling back. Parallel feet, heavy feet. And breathe in. And breathe out. The inhale, wide body and long spine. And the breath out, letting your body settle. And feel your belly engage on the breath out. To breathe into your back. And on the breath out, belly sinking down through your lower back ribs. And know that feeling. Breathe in. And breathe out. Know that belly feeling and use your belly to roll over to one side. Use your free hand to help you up to sitting. Hands are behind the thigh bones, and you've just primed all that deep belly breath work. And exhaling, curl back. And you inhale, lift your collarbone to come up. And exhale back, belly in, and inhale, lift your chest to come up. And exhale back. Tip over on one butt or the other butt, so you're light on one pelvis, heavy on the other. Look gently over that shoulder, lean a little, and then come up a little. So these little half curl backs to your side. And again. And the other side. And lean. Let your neck be long and free. And reach. One more. And then find your way up to standing. You bring the heels together and the balls of the feet are turned out. And lift your heels. And lower. So heels together, ball of the feet are apart just one finger bone. And lift your heels. And down. And lift. And lower. And add the arms, inhale, circle. And lower. Feel like you're squeezing from the back of your legs to lift. And down. And inhale, lift. And lower. Thank you all. Have a lovely day.
Thank you.